We're joined by WAC Commissioner Jeff Hurd. Can you just start out talking about the significance of basketball in the conference?
Well, certainly, I think obviously, we sponsor a lot of sports in the conference that are all important. But I think from a national standpoint, national profile standpoint, it's very important to us as a conference that we continually improve, that we continually raise our RPI as a league from a year-to-year standpoint, and ultimately our goal is to have multiple teams in the NCAA tournament. So I think from a recognition standpoint, and certainly nationally from not just recognition, but from a media coverage standpoint, it's important for us to have basketball strength as we continue to grow as a conference.
This is the 6th year that the WAC's been here at the Orleans. Could you just talk about the significance of that and having it in the same location year after year?
Yeah, I truly believe that if you're going to grow a basketball tournament, and especially in the case of the WAC, where we've had some membership changes over the last 6 years, it's important for us to develop some continuity. And Las Vegas has been and this facility in particular, the Orleans, has been one that's been ideal. It's an ideal size for us, for our conference. It's certainly an ideal location from a travel perspective, not only for fans, but for teams also. And it's, as everybody knows, Las Vegas has been for a long time, very much a destination city. And it's one that as we continue to evolve as a conference, I think growing the basketball tournament has to be part of that.
On the women's side, we're bringing in a new officials coordinator in Violet Palmer. Can you talk about significance of the conferences the other conferences that she works with, and how that will help the WAC?
Yeah, we're really fortunate to have Violet on our staff, on our officiating coordinating staff. She is certainly, I don't know a lot of people would recognize this, but she at one time worked in the WAC as an official, and she not only works in the NBA, but also coordinates officials for the Pac-12 and the West Coast conferences, and has been a welcome addition to our staff. We replaced somebody, Kay Garms, who from nationally was very highly respected, and quite frankly, when she decided to retire, I was a little bit concerned that we're going to be able to replace her with somebody with a similar type knowledge and similar respect in the profession, and we were very fortunate to get Violet, and I think she'll continue to help our women's officiating program get better and develop as time goes by.
Along those same lines, on the men's side, longtime WAC officiating coordinator Bobby Deibler is now part of a consortium that involves the WAC. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's the first time the WAC is actually part of a 5-conference consortium that Bobby oversees, and the conferences involved are the Big West, the Pac-12, the West Coast, the Mountain West, and the WAC. And I think what it does primarily is allow us to develop, I think one of the main goals is to develop continuity in the way the game is called, particularly in the western half of the United States. Certainly gives us access to a larger pool of officials. And I think as time goes on, you'll see this concept perhaps be put into use in other parts of the country. We're the initial effort at this, and again, we're fortunate, just like we are on the women's side, to have someone like Violet coordinating the entire program. To have Bobby Deibler doing it on the men's side is just as important, and Bobby does a tremendous job, and I don't think there's a more highly respected individual in the country than he is.
There'll be 13 games on the American Sports Network this year. Could you just talk about what that exposure means for the conference?
Yeah, I think ever since the WAC underwent its change from the loss of football a few years ago to the development of the conference that we are today, one of our goals has been to increase exposure in any way we can. We did that through our own digital network and also through establishing a contract with the American Sports Network. Last year we had a similar amount of games on. This year with 13 games that will be seen roughly in about 50 to 60 million homes. That's really important to us as we continue to grow basketball, we continue to grow the conference. We have to do it by increasing our exposure in every way possible.
Kind of along those same lines, we're 1 year into the WAC Digital Network. Kind of looking back, what have you thought about what the digital network did in the last year and what it could do in the future?
Yeah, I think that, the biggest strides that we've made with our digital network is we've been able to get all our conference championships distributed via the internet and through our digital network in a very quality productions. We've also been able to increase exposure for our member schools through our streaming of their events, through our website. I think from what we can do in the future, again, it's much like everything else. We need to improve it. We need to improve our quality. We need to improve the resources that we have that we put into the network, and we need to be able to monetize that through sponsorships and continue to grow it as we move on and be able to do more events than we're already doing.
Can you just, in general terms, I guess, talk about your outlook for the WAC for the rest of this year and then in the future?
Well, I think, what's interesting about the WAC, and I think about this fairly often, is that this we go into the 15-16 academic year. Well, we're already in it, but it's really the second year that we've had the same membership from the previous year. And so this is something that, again, is, I think the thing that most of us have difficulty doing is having patience. But we want to grow the conference, we want to improve the conference, and to have continuity of membership is key to that. So as I look to the future, you look at incrementally, you want to make steps. You want to make steps for improvement. And for an example, as we sit here today, we have 2 men's soccer teams ranked in the top 25 of the country. I think that's a huge plus for the conference. It shows that we've made progress, and as we continue to make progress, hopefully we'll be sitting here in a not too distant future telling you that we not only have 2 men's soccer teams, but we also have 2 men's basketball teams, that we have 2 women's basketball teams, and we perhaps have a couple of volleyball teams also ranked among the top 25 or so in the country. Those are things that we strive to attain, and it will happen only as we continue to grow the league over time.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.